This week we're taking a look at new listing counts, exploring the world of equity, and talking about why you should cherish grandma and grandpa just a little bit more. So stay tuned. Welcome to another local market update with Rick Batista. Welcome to another weekly market update. I was off last week thanks to Labor Day. Our mornings are certainly a bit more crisp here in Chicagoland, and I hope you're ready to start wrapping up this year no matter where you are in the world. This week we'll be looking at new listing counts in the month of August and talking plenty about equity and what it can mean for you, present day and future homeowners out there. You know, with so many things going on with the economy right now, as well as in and around housing, I'm committed to bring you weekly market updates because monthly just doesn't cut it anymore. And I've got to confess something. I do find myself scratching my head about this market, and I know what's going on. So I bring you these weekly market updates because if I'm confused here and there, I can only imagine how you must feel. My commitment is to help you understand what your options are. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this video discusses both national and local data. The local data we'll share in just a bit is for Chicago proper, the 77 areas, and although we do service all of Chicagoland, including the Burbs, later in this video we're only going to dive into the city's data. And away we go! Since we were off last week for Labor Day, here's last week's fun fact. Fun facts, market time! U.S. home equity recently hit a 4-year high with nearly half of all mortgage borrowers considered equity rich, having a loan-to-value ratio of 50% or lower in the second quarter of this year. According to Adams' Q2 2023 U.S. Home Equity and Underwater Report, 49% of mortgage residential homes were equity rich, up from 47% in the first quarter of the year, with quarterly increases found in 45 states. The highest levels of equity-rich mortgage properties continue to be found in the West, with 6 of the top 10 states in the second quarter located in that region. And we'll be talking more about equity later on in this video. This week's fun fact, the lack of existing home inventory continues to boost demand for new construction homes, and U.S. home builders are ramping up production to help meet buyers' needs. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, total housing starts rose 3.9% month over month to a seasonally adjusted rate of 1.452 million, and were up 5.9% from the same period last year, exceeding economists' expectations. Much of the increase was due to single-family starts, which grew 6.7% month over month, led by gains right here in the Midwest and West regions. And as we've covered in recent videos, the South has been leading the pack in new construction, so it's awesome to see new foundations being poured in other parts of the country, because we need more inventory. Quick side note, to make the numbers work, new builds may have a little less square footage than many households were looking for over the last few years, but please be prepared for that and or consider buying a home with a little less square footage to at least get your foot into the door of home ownership. I would imagine in some situations there may be an emphasis put on more usable and enjoyable outdoor space, but that's a discussion for another day. Moving right along. As we've talked about in our recent videos, we're not too big on comparing 2023 to the last few years. Why? Because it's really not fair to compare last year to essentially the greatest years in real estate on record. Of course, they may not have been the greatest years for many of us, with living through a pandemic and all. However, with the extremely low rates and crazy housing market, they are some hard numbers to beat. Having said that, oftentimes you'll find us comparing 2023 to the years prior, 2017, 18, and 19. Why? Because in those years, we found ourselves in a much more normal market. So let's get rolling. The first slide here is data from Realtor.com, and we're taking a look at listing counts for the month of August. Whether we're looking at new listings, active listings, or total listing counts, we were down compared to 2017, 18, and 19. No doubt about it. In case you haven't heard, we need more inventory. For my next trick, watch me talk out of both sides of my mouth. Taking a look at more data from Realtor.com, check this out. If we compare new listing counts in August 2023 to August 2022, yes, we're going to compare it to 2022, although we were down year over year by 7.5% compared to July's figures, we were actually up. Why is this little nugget of information enlightening? Well, first of all, comparing year over year, we were sitting at over 387,000 units. If you recall, around May of last year, homebuyers found a brick in their underpants when mortgage rates about doubled, wiping the board clean of many buyers. Sellers weren't too happy about that either, for 2 reasons. Number 1, less buyers for their home, and number 2, where the heck am I going to move now? Second reason this is significant, typically with the seasonality of a more normal market, the amount of new listings hitting the market tends to go down, not up, late in the summer. What does this mean? Well, from necessity comes creativity. Perhaps sellers are telling themselves things like, we've waited long enough, it's time to move. And or, thanks to working with a knowledgeable realtor and lender, I now know that there are options to navigate through this very interesting market. What is one of the realities about many sellers today? Many of today's sellers are folks from an older generation. And let me say this, I know we younger folk love to pick on and blame you older folk for so many problems, okay, boomer? But having worked in senior care for nearly a dozen years and always as a realtor, I appreciate those with a few more years of experience under their belts. Look at these next 2 slides. They're data collected by Credit Karma from recent surveys. About 1 in 4 U.S. homeowners, 26% say high mortgage rates would not impact their decision on when to sell their home. Looking for some whipped cream with a cherry on top? Of those 26%, 43% say it's because they would not need a new mortgage to purchase their next home. This next slide shows how mortgage rates are relevant to each generation based on this survey. 20% of Gen Z say they wouldn't be impacted by higher mortgage rates. 14% of millennials, 23% of Gen X, baby boomers, 35%. How could this be, you ask? One word is likely a big contributor: equity. 68.7% of today's homeowners have paid off their mortgage or have at least 50% equity in their current homes. The average U.S. homeowner now has more than $274,000 in equity, up significantly from $182,000 before the pandemic. This slide has not been updated. Last Friday, CoreLogic came out with updated stats, and that number has actually gone up to $290,000. Next up, I find this info from FHFA very interesting. If this data doesn't demonstrate the benefits of homeownership, I'm not sure what does. Map numero uno. Going back to Q1 of 1991, nationally, on average, the percent of change in home prices has gone up by 297.7%. Do you want to know what generational wealth looks like? Well, for many average households out there, it's thanks to real estate. The American dream of homeownership. Here in Illinois, we're up over 177%. The second map is looking at just the last 5 years. The national average was 57.3%, with Illinois up nearly 41%. And equity is essentially a savings account. What you're going to use that equity for, it's up to you. Here's a list of just some of the options. Pay for your next home in cash. Wouldn't that be nice? Put down a huge chunk of change, allowing your monthly mortgage payment to be much more manageable, especially if you find yourself on a fixed income or on a tighter budget these days. For some of you, it's time to face the reality that you need more help when it comes to your daily activities, and looking into senior home or facility is your next move. Not an easy truth to face, but life happens, and sometimes it's a little less fun as we get older. So you may need that equity to help you pay for your senior living lifestyle. Many of us prefer to age in place, which doesn't necessarily mean to live inside the same home you spent the last several decades. It could mean to live within the same community that you have for the last several decades, whether that's within the same neighborhood or near your family members or loved ones. Reality check. At some point, if we're lucky, we'll all have to decide on our last move. And the big question is, where would you want to spend your final years on Earth? I just helped a client with this very situation. Mom started experiencing health concerns and ended up using funds from another recent sale, equity that had been built up over time, to purchase a home with her son and daughter-in-law. It brought everyone peace of mind because they were all going through so much stress from, Mom just isn't safe living alone anymore. I can't keep rushing there after work every night to check on her. Let's make all of our lives a little easier. And as I say time and time again, you can't put a price tag on peace of mind. Reality may not be fun to face, but the better we face it, the more peace of mind you're bound to have. If this situation sounds familiar because you find yourself in it, or you might be a Gen Xer like me with aging parents, reach out and let's talk. I've got plenty of experience when it comes to the elderly, senior care, and real estate. Where was I? Yes, equity. You may not even be interested or ready to move right now. You may be at a point where you want a new adventure and want to start that business you always dreamt of, or travel the world. You may not even be using that equity you've earned for yourself. You might be helping out your kids or grandkids, somewhat of a younger generation, whether it's helping them achieve home ownership or get a jump start to life by helping wipe out some or all of their student loans or other debt. No matter how you plan to utilize that equity, if you'd like to know how much equity you have in your home, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to crunch some numbers for you. And to go back with that map in mind, although I'm here in the Chicagoland area, I'm part of an amazing network of awesome realtors. If you're watching or listening to this from another state or even country, there's a really good chance I've got a good agent to connect you with, someone who'll take good care of you. Now it's time to wake up for the moment you've all been waiting for. This information and data is provided by the Chicago Association of Realtors, covering the week ending September 2nd and is current as of September 11th. From fun facts, we go to quick facts. We're looking at year-over-year changes. New listings in the detached market down by 25.6%. Attachment condos and townhomes down by 6.9%. Under contract, detached only up by 4%. That number's been higher over the last several weeks. And attached down by 6.7%. Homes for sale, detached down by 26.9% and attached down by 32% year over year. Unpacking those numbers just a little bit more. For new listings in the single-family detached market, we had 308 new listings hit the market the week of September 2nd, bringing us to a 3-month average of 349, down by 23% year over year. Attached 363, 3-month average of 500, down by 24.1% year over year. Under contract, single-family detached market, the week of September 2nd, we saw 206. Go under contract with a 3-month average of 186, down just by 1.2% year over year. And the attached market, 252, 3-month average of 282, down by 6.3% year over year. And inventory of homes for sale, we wrapped up the week of September 2nd with 2,293 single-family detached homes, 3-month average of 2,283, down by 21.5% year over year. And attached market, 3,374, 3-month average of 3,418, down by 32.8% year over year. So, what does all this information mean for you? Heck if I know. All depends on what's going on in your life and your household. Let's start a conversation and see how we can help you make the most informed decisions. If you'd like copies of any reports or slides we shared with you today, feel free to reach out. You can call, text, or email. My contact info is below. And remember, love and money may come and go, but time is something we never get back. So I thank and appreciate you for sharing some of your time with me today. If you want to stay on top of the market with us, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And think of one person who you believe would benefit from this info, then be sure to share it with them. As always, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll catch you next time.